Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chasing Rank. Hopefully you are doing well as Dom sorts himself out in the background there. Let's unmute Dom. I noticed he had to run off before we started going live. So hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm back on camera tonight. So I had my week of producing and maybe it's something I need to do a bit more often because as you can tell by my rank, this week was a very, very good week. So maybe my career is best behind the producer desk instead of being on screen. But fellas, how we going?
Yeah, not too bad, Paulie. Great week and great rank for you. I'm actually also pretty happy. I'm inside the top 100K, so it's been great for both of us. But yeah, I'm pretty happy apart from a small little back injury. And Domo, how's things going? How's the little one? Causing a little bit of havoc before the stream, I hear.
Good. Yep, sorry about that. She's good. Everyone's good. Ready to get into it. She saw my game week rank and wasn't very happy.
All right, let's start getting into it. If you are in the chat, let's get in there as well. Let us know you're here. Let us know your thoughts and comments ahead of a double game week this week because we probably won't be able to get in time between Friday and Saturday our time. It's just a little bit of a tight turnaround coming out of game week 13 and into 14 and 15. So there is quite a bit to get through tonight. So we're sitting at 181,000 subscribers. I wish 181 subscribers. I was looking at the shorts views, which is at 3,000 from the weekend, with which was the free hit team on YouTube and TikTok. So I will try and get maybe my team selection up this week as well, maybe tonight once we get off of stream. So let's kick it off with Fallers and Ballers, our favourite section of the podcast that we do first. So we're going to share the lowest performing side first, which, as Dom alluded to, was Dom.
Yeah, I'm going to fly through this one because it was just not a good week. Not a good week at all. I think I could pinpoint two bowlers, Mateta and Waltermar, just number 9, getting it done again. I'll give O'Reilly. He got another assist. He's just been doing so well. And as Pee and Paul mentioned over the weekend, unlucky not to get a goal on that one. I think keeper pulls off a pretty save. Didn't even know where the ball was, but gets the assist. And then Fowlers, I'm going to lock in my whole team, part of those 3 guys. So I'll go with Senesi getting suspended. Hurts, but he's been so good for me this year.
93rd minute as well. It hurts. Game was all but done, and he gets himself another yellow. It's frustrating.
Yeah, especially as a guy who held Gabriel, thinking he was a bit closer to returning. That hurts, but yeah, it's not a good week, and I'm happy to pass it on already to you, Damo, because I'm just moving on from this game week.
Before we move on, Dom, I think you're a bit stiff here. Like you've copped an injury to Saar, which he's done it a few times. Semenyo, very unlucky not to get a return this week with a few chances that didn't go his way. And Mbuemo with a few... Sorry, guys, I'm still trying to get over everything. And Mbuemo, early days, did have a couple chances as well. So you're a few pieces away from it being not the worst game week. So I think it's just one of those ones with some poor variance there. All right, Damo, 55 points, triple captain played. Let's do it.
Look, before I get into my team, I also want to say that we are still in the early sort of phase of the season. So if you have a rank like Dom's, you're not out the game of getting a top 50, top 20K finish as well. But so many chips to play, so don't be too disheartened, Dom, and all those watching as well. Yeah. Don't be, you don't have to be where Paul is. You don't have to be where I am to have a great season still. You could be 1.5 to 2 mil still and still come into a very good rank. So that's the first thing I want to say. And then in terms of my team, look, I'm going to start with Fallers first. And I am just going to go and say the Fallers is Haaland, and the triple captainship in general. I've not had a good triple captain since I triple captain Rashford in a double.
Yeah, he went crazy in the double. Got 51.
I reckon 3 or 4 years ago, and it was the first time I finished top 25K was because basically of that. Anyhow, with that being said, obviously super disappointed with Haaland. For those that don't know, I play poker semi-professionally, so I was in bed early before these games. Didn't watch any football this weekend because I had early sessions in the morning. So when I saw 3-2 and the live scores on Footmob, I'm like, beautiful. I've popped off. Proceeded to click into the game and see no goals or assists, and proceeded to throw my phone at 4 a.m. to wake up my poor girlfriend, which is not nice. But anyhow, outside of that, obviously a very good week, and that's because we did make a couple of moves. Obviously, last game week, double Liverpool defence, and it finally came in against West Ham, one of the fixtures I was targeting. And there was a lot of back and forth between us in the chat. I didn't know whether to sell Semenyo to go to Foden or to go to Gakpo or to sell Semenyo down and then go and move Guile up to Thiago, and now he's injured. And I think we made the best choice. I know Foden and Gakpo would have been close, but with our fixture run, and I think Slot needs to win games, he's going to keep a pretty stable team. I think that I'm pretty happy to have Gakpo as a differential. So that was a pretty good transfer. The other transfer was Minte. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, my ballers is the Liverpool defence, and Gakpo there doing fantastic.
Beautiful. We'll move on to my... I can hear myself in the background there. Someone's got the stream going. Just whack it on mute. There's my side there. Free hit played, so I don't want to go too much into it. A couple issues with my free hit side. Obviously, I had Salah in there, and I had Mukiel first on the bench, who concedes 3 and doesn't get DC and gets a yellow card, so misses out on a point there, which is frustrating. The big decision I had to make was Gakpo versus Mateta. And when Mateta scored that penalty, I was like, oh, God damn it, maybe I got this one wrong. But in the end, probably got it right. The only other 2 decisions I had to make was the combination of the Brentford assets, which was Vandenberg or Schade versus Dango and Collins, and I got them the wrong way around. So if you told me going into the game week that Schade was going to be the one that wasn't going to get the minutes, I definitely would have said you're dreaming, and that's exactly what happened. Dango went and got 90, and Schade come off at 74, which is disappointing because Schade has typically been the guy that's been on the pitch longer, and Dango goes and gets the goal for being on the pitch. So other than that, I mean, the Foden, Thiago, Gakpo, that's pretty much the free hit in itself, with the double Villa defense getting the clean sheet. So 71 points, 86K game week rank can move me from 106,000 into 21,510. We are in a spot where I'm happy because at this point now, most people have played their 3 chips. So I think we're at a point where we can actually take real consideration of our rank. So, I thought early days was my rank maybe a little bit inflated because I went early on the wild card and the triple captain. So I thought, people are going to catch me up. And the last few pods I'd been on, I'd started sliding back a little bit. I was around the 50K mark and I was edging my way back to 100K. And I was like, this is normal because I've played the early chips and people are catching me, and I had Grealish and Gyökeres and whatnot. And now it's just like, bang, hit the nail on the money there with the free hit, and away we go. So that's where my free hit side was at. I'll go through what my team looks like a little bit later because obviously that will not be my team this week going forward. Let's start off with a quick roundup of the games because I want to then look at some projections and I want to do a bit more future planning because we do need to consider game weeks 14 and 15 tonight. Sunderland looked the real deal to me. Like we spoke 2 weeks ago about them not going down. I can't unless something implodes at Sunderland.
There's no way.
Yeah, they're just fighting at home. They're incredible. They just find ways to score goals. Like they are definitely, like Dom, you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, maybe when it was just me and you, that they're not a target fixture. Like as in defensively, they're not a target fixture. I think for attackers, you'll get goals, but Sunderland will also score goals. And they're doing it from a variety of different ways. It's not just the same guys popping up every week for goals. Like they really are sharing the load. And Enzo Lafie there with a 13-pointer. He's a decent enough enabler. Xhaka goes and gets another 5-pointer. Like, I'm kind of happy having him and Elliot Anderson in my team and knowing that I can plug and play them in any single game week and expect a 3 to 5-pointer almost every week from both of them, which is just brilliant. So the main thing to know is there's no Senesi, which is frustrating because he had Everton at home this week as well, which was a good enough fixture to play him in. Semenyo playing is a big tick. I think, if you held Semenyo, you just ride it out now because he's back and things will turn. And Bournemouth are scoring goals and they'll be fine. But again, I don't know how I feel about the Bournemouth defence. Damo, any comments?
On the Bournemouth defence, I'm kind of calling off. I feel like this is the decision point for Senesi. He's suspended. It's a good fixture to, good time to move him out because he can't play. But if you hold him here, you probably want him for that Burnley game week 17 fixture, especially if you still have a bench boost as well. If you're one of those that still have the bench boost, probably want him for that bench boost. So with that said, I think if you're not selling Senesi this week, you're holding him all the way through, which is fair enough. You've got some value tied up in him. In terms of the defense itself, probably defending more like what we expected at the start of the season. We had all that defensive change. We expected them not to be defensively great. And now we're seeing a lot of that, what we thought would have happened at the start of the season, happening now. And they're defending kind of how we thought they'd defend now at the start of the season. So, yeah, I think there's definitely times to be picking on these mid-table defenses. And at the moment, it's probably not a bad time to come off the Bournemouth defense, but wouldn't begrudge anyone that still wants to keep Senesi.
You're still getting DC, though. DC.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be going Petrovic and Trufair. And I know there's a few content creators out there that are still talking up the Bournemouth defense. Senesi's just a DC beast. So, again, he gets a yellow card, concedes 3 goals and still walks away with 2 points. If that's your worst case scenario, then it's pretty good. So, I think he's fine to hold if you've got the depth to be able to do it. If you like Dom and you've got Gabriel and Senesi and you have to make that decision, you've got some things to think about. All right, Everton, Newcastle. I thought I was good. Yeah, welcome in Cortex as well. I thought I'd done well dodging the goals with Everton. I'm like, free hitter. Don't have to worry about Tarkovsky. And then he goes and finds a way to get an assist. So I said it to Dom on Sunday. Tarkovsky just finds a way to get 3 5 points.
Just inevitable.
And it's frustrating me because I bench him in these fixtures and I'm like, why am I benching him? And then it's like every week I'm making the decision between the 2 Andersons, him and Xhaka. And I normally have to start 2 of them. And it's like, how do I play them all? I just can't get it right. Obviously this week I didn't have to worry about it. But now next week they play Bournemouth, a Senesi-less Bournemouth. This has 2-1, 2-2 written all over it. But with Tarkovsky getting his DC in that game, and potentially getting on the end of something from a set piece. I want to start him, Grealish, and Semenyo because I think Semenyo could score. I think Tarkovsky can get DC and a return, and Jack Grealish could easily get a return in this game as well. Am I stupid for thinking that?
No, I don't think so because it all has merit. I just don't know if maybe it's worth to save yourself the headache using a transfer. I know that for yourself, Paul.
I've only got one.
Yeah, so it might not be. But what I will say is if you are in the spot of having 1 or only 2 transfers, I've only got 2 myself, right? We do get 5 free transfers in game week 16 when AFCON comes around. So it's only a couple game weeks to get through. Yes, it's nice to have the transfers, but if you really want to make a transfer this week, you only got 1. And with such a short turnaround in the next game, if it's for a 90-minute man, I don't particularly hate it because we know that what's the worst that happens? Oh, you cop 2 injuries, you need to take a -4. Great. Or leave them on your bench if you have
I've got depth on my bench. Yeah, I've got bench cover.
You get 5 free transfers. So
I thought about it. We'll talk about it when we get to my team because Grealish is an issue for me.
Yeah, correct. Anyhow, in terms of your plans there, Paul, I think it's fine because I think all of that is pretty good. I do think if you're playing a Bournemouth attacker and an Everton attacker, you probably want to drop the Everton defender to minimise or mitigate, with Bournemouth score, but
had I had Senesi, I would have played Senesi over Tarkovsky. So that was the decision. So the red cards put that in. But anyway, that's all right. Spidey, welcome along. The Newcastle attack, they're going to beat City. They've then gone and put 4 past Everton. Dan Burn comes up with an assist. They are up and down, and I wouldn't be buying into much of the Newcastle. Has anyone got anything to comment on about Newcastle?
No from you, Dom. I was really, I've been impressed with this player a lot, and we're probably going to speak about him a little bit more. But again, was really impressed with Bruno in this game. Mr. Bruno G getting DC again, and it seems like in the tougher games, if you go and look at the Spurs result only a couple of weeks ago, seems to get DC. And then in the weaker games, always seems to be in and around the box, attacking the box from late. So maybe a player to add into your watch list, but he's passing the eye test.
I might try and bring up his heat map as well, because I reckon it would be quite interesting to have a look at, because you're right. Because in those games, like even I remember him against Liverpool, like he scores at like on the goal line as well. Like he is someone who covers the ground. He is just there. He's in and around. I don't know if he takes many set pieces. I think he takes more free kicks.
He's on the end of set pieces. Liverpool game. Remember what he did to Kirkez at the back stick?
Yeah.
Absolutely mauled him from a set piece and put it in the back of the net. Just got that grit about him. I like watching him as a footballer, and I really think because he can have DC, he's got 0.5 assist threat, which means every second game he's getting an assist on paper. Obviously, does that actually happen in game? Who knows? I just think there's a lot about him as an asset, and I was really impressed again by him, to the point where I'm really considering him this week.
So there's his heat map there across the season, which is a mix of different roles and games, and he's in and amongst it as well. Like he's going to be a more creative threat, like which is actually maybe okay. He's at 0.17 goals per game and bloody half an assist. So he is more the. I don't understand how to read this. And then his expected data is saying more goals than assists. So it's a bit weird. But you can see that way that Hub have him viewed is a 4-point player. So, you know, we've seen that Declan Rice is in that similar range as well. So definitely someone worth considering. We will talk about him when we are talking about projections over the next couple of weeks. Spurs, Fulham. Don't think we need to cover this too much. Anderson or bust, I think, out of anyone here. I just wish Fulham would keep a clean sheet here or there. It would be nice. But, you know, their defensive numbers are solid, but they just find a way to concede, which is annoying. The Kudus goal was decent as well, but Spurs, you just would not be going near anyone.
Not at the moment. I don't think it's that time to go to Spurs at the moment. So, yeah, I think we're bypassing Spurs. The only thing I'll say with Fulham is I believe Muniz is underrated. Underrated is injured.
Raul is playing.
Yeah, and so Raul is going to be nailed for the foreseeable future. So if you're looking for a differential striker, sure, but I probably would go elsewhere, but just worth a mention.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play him every week. So he's a bit of a rotation guy for me. I like this comment from Cortex. Malik Thior has really locked down that spot. I mean, Botman's kind of gone off the radar again, hasn't he? He just can't get fit. So I just don't love the Newcastle defense, but if I was picking one, it's him probably anyway, because there's this bit of rotation with the fullbacks, and Burns a bit less likely on the DC than Thior. So I'd be going Thior if you're going a Newcastle defender. But I think the Newcastle fixtures are a bit more favourable to the attackers than the defenders, because they go Spurs and Burnley both at home, Sunderland away, Chelsea home, Man United. But then where I don't mind it is from 19, where they go Burnley, Palace, Leeds, Wolves, Villa, Liverpool, Brentford. It's a pretty decent stretch for Newcastle a little bit later. In the piece, Palace, Man United. Now, I haven't seen much of this game, but I feel like I said this to Dom. This game was going to suit Man United, and it's exactly what happened. Palace went 1-0 up. I didn't think that's how it would go, but United find a way to get 3 points. Any major takeaways here, lads? Bruno did Bruno things, didn't he? He was one off DC.
Watch the second half. I thought Palace were going to come out and kill him after they went 1-0 up. So credit to United. Bruno just gets it done. They were pretty average assists. Like I think just one he laid off a free kick. Second one he plays a ball in behind and Xerxes scores absolute peach of a finish. He'll probably never do that again in his career, but hey, Bruno gets it done.
Yeah, he just ticks along nicely.
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to say, I think definitely the pick from the United midfield is Bruno, because he just ticks along, AFCON, etc., and we proved it here again.
Yeah, cool. I don't think there's much else to comment there.
Do you guys see Cunha as a play with Mbeumo leaving for AFCON and Cunha's back in training?
You can't get his body right.
Need to see it. Once he gets a string of games, we know what he's capable of. So then, yes. But we need to see it, and I don't think we're going to see it until after Mbeumo's already left. So you can't really plan, I think, the next couple of game weeks to get him in.
Yeah. Him and Sesko at the moment just can't get right, and I just avoid it. I just think too much of a risk. There's too many other guys in that same price range that are ticking along nicely, that are locked in as the talisman for their teams. I don't want to go near guys that are not fit and playing. Same with Isak. Like, I wouldn't go near Isak. as much as I want to, you just know that they need to get some minutes here, like more than just some minutes. Like this period of games is going to make people like that break down because they've got no base and they're going to get absolutely worked into the ground. They're just, I see it every year. Just don't go chasing. And I kind of did it with Gyökeres. I never should have done it. Like I got caught up in the hype there a little bit because he had no preseason. So what was I expecting? So like, why am I going to go bring a player in that's missed 6 weeks of football who now has to play every 3 days? Like it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
so it's a little bit. It's a bit negative. It's a bit of a negative view, but I think it's a bit more of a realistic view. And if he goes and burns me, then so be it. But at least I'll live by the process of I want guys that are sharp and that are playing week in and week out. So I still there's a question here from Cortex about Isak. I'd be going Gakpo over Isak in that period because Gakpo's been doing it the whole time. He's been playing. He's in rhythm. He's scoring. Mm-hmm. Yes, Isak scores against West Ham. You've got the Ekatike issue to deal with Isak as well. Like, there's just too many variables there. Like, I'm a Liverpool supporter. I want Isak to be our number 9 and to be banging goals in. But don't be shocked if that's not until next season when he gets a full preseason under his belt.
Yeah, I think you learn the hard way.
Again, because of that lack of preseason, when we get in these run of fixtures, they're going to get benchings these players. They're not Bruno G or Bruno Fernandes. They're not, old school Salah, for instance, that are just going to go 90, 90, 90, 90, 90 the whole way through. These are players that are probably going to get benched because they have some body injury issues or just can't get fit.
Cunha did the same at Wolves. Cunha wasn't a 90-minute guy at Wolves either.
Yeah.
He's never been a 90-minute guy. So
would target the 90-minute men.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of Wolves, do we really need to cover this?
Well, you had the triple up.
I did have the triple up, but not in my actual team. But Martinez, what a player. He has games where he turns it on and games where he just goes off into space. And this was a game where he turned it on. 7-pointer, really won them the game. I did not see a second of this game. I heard that Wolves had a few chances that were very unlucky not to convert. And I feel like we've said that a lot this year when it comes to Wolves, that they just do not know how to score goals. And that's why they are the number 1 target for me as a defensive fixture.
Yeah, they're just, attacking, like, I feel like they're just unlucky as well. Like, they're not a 2-point team, 2.13 weeks in team. Defensively, they're horrific, but,
I think they've just given up.
Half a dozen teams are, Players are checked out.
Yeah. Which is sad. But again, like, really would have expected Morgan Rogers to get something. Like, there's just no, I don't know. I would not be going near Aston Villa. The only reason they were so heavily bought on a free hit was because it was the Wolves fixture at home. Like, it was just too good.
Outside
not to put in. No. All right, Brighton Forest. Anyone want to kick us off? Brighton away from home, 2-0 win.
Did not expect this.
Call this last pod, for those that watched last pod, that I thought the Forest game against us was a flash in the pan, and I still don't think they're that great, and you shouldn't be targeting them for defensive, buys or even bringing players in. I think the only person you can bring in here is Anderson if you're looking at Forest.
That's 2 bonus in a 2-0 loss.
I still think I still think they're really poor Forest. And Sean Dyer change that. I don't think. Look, I would avoid Forest at all costs. From when I watched this game, Brighton again looked good, looked nice and direct. We all wish it was Minte. But again, Brighton showcasing why they're a good team to have an attacker from. And I don't think there's going to be many games in the way that Brighton do attack that Minte is going to miss out. So, yeah.
Well, I want him. That's why I want him over Grealish. So, I don't know if I do it this week or if I do it next week, but at some point, Minte's coming in for me. So, that'll be a decision. Damo, fire away. Liverpool, West Ham. Tell us your thoughts.
Finally. Look, obviously our double Liverpool defense, and Konate did outscore Virgil, which for DC, which is nice, because usually it should be the other way around with the stats. Would have loved both to get DC, but Liverpool looked dominant for most of it. If you did watch the game, West Ham did have a couple of chances and a couple of looks at goal, to be fair to them. West Ham's still proving why we need to obviously go and target them as a fixture like Wolves for an attacking sense. They were really poor, I thought, defensively. And Liverpool haven't been their greatest, but if it was Liverpool at their top, we should have won this game by 4 or 5. Isak probably looked the best he looked, and Wirtz looked the best he looked as well. But definitely the player. If you're looking for a Liverpool midfielder to bring in, it has to be Gakpo. He seems to be nailed on the left. No one's going to take that spot away from him. They dropped Salah, and I think Slot would be silly to change it, even though it's only a 3-day break. And if he does change it, I actually think it would be Gomez will go out, Sabaz to right back, Wirtz from right wing to centre attacking mid, even though Sabaz and him switched out, and then Salah will come in that way. I think Gakpo is the most 90-minute man that you can get with the biggest attacking
no other
threat.
option on the left.
Yeah, the only other option is that they bring Hugo Ekitike off the left, or they go and like play Hugo and then move Wirtz wide, and then and then
Why play with
Sabaz
it?
middle, and then Gomez has to be fit. But the fact Gomez just played a few days ago, I don't think Gomez is going to go back-to-back games because he's not fit. So again, it has to be a lot of moving pieces for Gakpo not to come in. The only thing with Gakpo is he could get benched 70 to 75th minute for Hugo Ekitike, but that would be in a game that I think we're chasing a goal in, not in a game where we're dominating and winning.
So there's no world where Salah's benched again, is what you're saying?
Look, if I was Arna,
They might do it with AFCON coming.
Yeah, look, if I was Arna Slot and
this might be his rest before AFCON instead of getting him back jaded. That could be the thought. I wanted to bring this conversation up at some point tonight, and I just want to plant the seed. But just think about what teams have stuttered when AFCON's been around, and think about Liverpool particularly when Matip, Mane and Salah used to go, what they used to do to us when we were in title fights. Obviously, 100%. We're not in a title fight this year, but actually, to be fair, I don't really think many of the top-end Premier League sides are at the moment, but I'm thinking like Arsenal have built a squad where they're not losing anybody. You know what I mean? So, and same with City and same with Chelsea right now. So none of them are losing key players where we are losing a key player. And is this Slot's way of going, well, everyone else is fit right now, so I'm going to give you the break front end so you come back from AFCON and not come back jaded. You get your break beforehand and you come back with a week off on the way back in. And then you kick on because Salah traditionally has come back and shit the bed. But we've run him into the ground all the way up until we lose him and he's flying and he comes back and he's cooked. So I'm a bit thinking, is this Arnie's way of going, well, you're going to be gone anyway, so let's figure it out whilst you're here in case I need you.
Yeah, then it's too late.
Yeah, and then you're chasing your tail when he's gone and then you don't have another option. Like Chiesa is like still a usable option as well. So like but I think I actually don't mind. Like it burnt me big time this week on the free hit. And the minute Ekitike got injured, there was a thought in my head that said go Isak instead of the extra striker. Like also like instead of Salah, like move the Salah position to the striker spot and go 3-4-3. But I wasn't confident on the minutes, which is why I went Salah. Like I had that conversation with you about the free hit. I said I want Salah for the minutes, and bloody hell, 2 years ago he gets dropped against West Ham, and it's deja vu. But I see some merit to it. Like I had to think deeper about it and went, well, maybe he's looking for what am I going to do when he's not here.
Look, I think in the case of Salah, fantasy asset wise, it's a case of don't buy, and it's a case of if you have him, he
no one should be buying. Yeah, he's only here for 3 weeks.
Yeah, correct.
Not even.
If you do have him, you're someone that has Haaland and Salah. You're someone that sold Haaland for Salah, which over the last 2 weeks hasn't really killed you. If you did it 2 weeks ago, which some people have, you're obviously keeping him for this next game week because I think he comes back in. Again, as I mentioned, it will be for Joe Gomez, which sounds weird, but look at the moving parts that it would open up because we need a right back. I will say this, and with bated breath, I think this has proved the point that Salah is no longer the fantasy asset that he was. He'll go down as the best fantasy asset of all time. I'll die on that hill, but he's no longer that asset. Yeah. And that is because Liverpool looked much better with a front four that knew how to interchange and not just
Laurie and Burt, incredible.
But between Wirtz and Sabaz interchaining from wide right into the middle of the park, and then Isak dropping in when needed. You saw Gakpo getting in areas that he never got in before because he's like getting all this movement. I see a world where Arna's like, yeah, that's the team I want. Salah's not my type of player. That's the team I want. And I think that's kind of what we're getting at now.
Yeah. I agree. And I think with Liverpool assets, it's a bit sort of Gakpo, Van Dijk, and leave it at that.
Yeah, Gakpo, Van Dijk, and then if you want another defender, I'm pretty bullish on our defense. Our defensive expected data is good. Yeah, just we concede. But if Beck is fit, I really do rate us to keep a few clean sheets over this. So I do recommend Kanate. I have him in my own team.
Yeah, and as Dom's written in the chat there, let's get the likes up. I think we're sitting around 9 at the moment, and we have picked up a subscriber. Let's try and get it up to 185 tonight. We're sitting at 182. So 3 subs tonight on top of the extra one we've picked up would be fantastic. Good point here again from Cortex. Zobbo sitting on 4 yellows as well. He's not ideal because he has been so crucial to the way that we're playing at the moment. Dom, take us away. Another red card for Chelsea, but a point picked up at home.
Honestly, I feel hard done by. I feel like we deserve the 3 points, even with 10 men for an hour. Messaging some Arsenal fans over the past couple of days, and even they've said we didn't deserve that. You know, that's Chelsea all day of the week. Like, we're just all over them before the red card, and with the red card, it's just we are just so bipolar. Like, we'll probably go lose to Leeds in 2 days. It's just we just can't maintain that. Obviously, get up for the big games. But that's disappointing. Still, what would have been nice to close the gap on Arsenal. I think it would have closed it to. No, we've been equal with them. I reckon we're only 3 points behind.
No, you were 3 points behind them when they had a game in hand. I think they played last game week.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless, disappointed on the football side.
Yeah, they went to 6 points clear after Tottenham.
Yeah. Sorry, I would have pegged it back. Yeah. Anyway, that sort of thing's disappointing. But yeah, good signs for a Chelsea fan right now. I'm stringing together some big, good performances. On a fantasy side of things, if you started Moi Caicedo, feel very much sorry for you, but it's what you get when you pick defensive mids. This is why I'm so anti defensive mids. Like, they do stuff like that. Now he misses 3 games, but we've got an easy run there, so wouldn't worry about that. But if you're an Enzo holder, I'd probably be a bit disappointed because now Enzo has to sit that bit deeper, or they bring in Andre Santos, Lavia. Maybe just can't stay fit. But anyway, Reece James, another assist, looking fantastic in the middle of the park. Yeah. On all dead balls. Yep. No, he played his 90 again.
Yeah, but he got benched 2 weeks ago, and they came out and that was tactical. It was planned that he was going to 45. So it sounds likely a couple 90s and then it's a 45, a couple 90s.
I think it's 45. Like a big games like Barcelona, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool. He's your 90-minute man. But your easier games, he's gonna
which
he played 6 90s in a row, then 13, 45, 90, which is when Champions League must have kicked back on.
Yeah.
I think if you can time the run with Reece James, and where I see the run being timed is from game week 24 to game week 27. You play West Ham at home, Wolves away, Leeds at home, Burnley at home.
Wow, 3 of the promoted with
a lot of weeks away.
It's still 10 game weeks away. Like, there's time there, and there's time for everything to happen in that period. But if that you can time that with Champions League knockout stages or being knocked out, that could be a time where he goes bang and bang big time, and he could be someone who he's 8% owned. So there's people out there that believe that he can explode.
He's on the dead balls.
That's exactly right. So I think he's worth an eye on it, and he's pushing for a World Cup spot. And by then, he'll be saying, "I want to play."
Yeah,
in my eyes.
And he seems to his fitness seems to be where it needs to be.
Yeah.
They're managing his minutes so well. Anyway, what was I touching on after that? Chelsea attacked. Just a tricky game. Down to 10 men makes it hard. But there was half chances. João Pedro had a header really well saved off David Raya. So that's that. And then on the Arsenal side of things, they just didn't look like the Arsenal we know. I don't know if that's
They're missing a few people. No Saliba, no Gabriel, no Yoker.
That's the first time in 140 games, I think, that neither of them have played, which is crazy. So this could be change things up if neither of them are playing. I think Saliba's is only a small injury, so he should be back. But if
they got
they're all over the place,
they got enough depth. They can move Calafiori inside and play Lewis Skelly and use Tim.
Saka gets his assist. I think it's his first in a year.
Yep.
So for the holders that played him, fair play. And then it was a bit of a funny game.
That ball has me excited for Gyökeres. Sorry.
Gyökeres should have had the goal.
Well, he had one stolen from him, and that would have killed me. If I free hit it and Gyökeres had scored, I would have been filthy, right? But he's come back from this big muscular issue that he picked up going into international break. I don't know if I'm stupid or if I'm a genius, but I'm actually excited to go into this run of Arsenal fixtures with Gyökeres in my team because he's going to play the number 9 position for this team that creates so many chances that through set pieces and through open play, assist threat, and all the rest of it, he needs to be the guy. Like, Arteta has every other piece of this team set. Now it's just this number 9 position. And yes, Havertz is coming back from an injury, but you're not spending this cash on this guy to just play bit part in this attack. Like, surely he is now the guy.
You've been crying out for a 9 for 5 years.
Yeah. And do I think he's going to play 90 every single game? No. But do I want 70 minutes of the Arsenal number 9 if I load it up? This week it's Brentford at home, who are Thiago-less as well. And then you go Aston Villa, who aren't the best. Then Wolves, Everton, Brighton. Like, it feels stupid of me selling Gyökeres at 10% owned, going into that run. Yes, he's barely played, and I can acknowledge that. And he played 18 minutes against Chelsea, but he had 2 big chances as well. Like, I think there's a point where they're clear in the Champions League, and I feel like that's where they'll use Havertz. Bit different style. I think the Premier League will be Gyökeres' bread and butter for the short term. That's just my personal view. Maybe it's my hope. I don't know. But am I dumb for thinking that Gyökeres is not a bad hold now? I wouldn't be buying him. Like, I'll say that 100%. Do not buy him. There's better Arsenal assets. But if you're like me and you're stuck with him, I think there's some optimism there.
Yeah. Definitely agree.
So we'll see. Maybe in 3 weeks' time, I'm bashing my head against my monitor going, why the hell didn't I sell him? But we'll see.
I think there's merit to keeping him, is what I would say.
Well, I just don't see there's any other strikers I don't want to buy.
Yeah, well, none of them are really popping off. So
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. So that is that from here. Let's go into some. Where am I going? Projections.
Yes,
up until when's AFCON? Is it game week 18?
16.
16 is when we get the transfers. 17,
they play
a lot
16,
of
so 17 they're gone. So I'm going to go up 16. To game week 17.
16 they play and they fly out the next day.
All right,
and we get the 5 free transfers in 16 though.
All right, so I'm going up to game week 17. So the next 4 game weeks. Okay, the next 4 game weeks. Up to 9.5 million because it pretty much just takes out. Actually, should I include Isaac? Yeah, let's do that. 10.5. Because that includes Saka and Isaac, doesn't it? I think 10.5.
It's good. Yeah, good to have in there.
All right. So top 2, Saka and Bruno. I don't think we need to talk too much about them. We know that they're good assets over this short period of time.
Yeah.
If I could have my time again and I went Saka over Gyökeres, I would do that. I'll put that out there. If I could make that switch with moves, I would. Do I make that move in 16 with 5 free transfers and use 2 of them to turn Xhaka and Gyökeres into Mark Guiu and Saka? I'll consider it if I can make the money work, because I don't know if I can, because Gyökeres is 8.8 and Saka's 10.1. So it is a bit of a change. But if I go from like a Xhaka or an Anderson who are like mid-5s to a Mark Guiu who's mid-4, low 4s, with some money in the bank, it might work. So I'll keep that option open. But we'll see what Gyökeres does. Bruno, I love it. At some point, Mbeumo has to go, and there's merit for him to go straight to Bruno. I do think Man United are going to get worse without Mbeumo. So I don't know how I feel about bringing Bruno in with an Mbeumo-less Man United. So that's probably one where I'm going to pass, and that might be the way that I create some money to do the 3-way swap. So it ends up being Mbeumo, Gyökeres, and Xhaka to 2 mids and a bench, and I go 3-5-2. Could be a good move there. And Cortex mentions that Amad Diallo goes as well. So again, you're losing 2 big pieces of the Man United attack.
He looks good.
He's been looking good for a while, so I'm impressed. But You know, it's a bit of an awkward role, though. If he was a defender, I'd love it, but not as a mid.
Yeah.
All right, Semenyo. Do we really need to talk about Semenyo? Plug and play every week if you've got him. Like, do I think you need to buy him now? Maybe not. I don't think you need to go and buy Semenyo like you did at the start of the year. This is the time where you could take a punt on another 6.5 to 7.2 million.
So he's not going
against
to AFCON.
the ownership. He's not going to AFCON. Ghana didn't qualify. They finished bottom of their group.
Would have been interesting FPL-wise if he goes. I think it would have really thrown a massive spanner in the works. Yeah, which would have been fun, but
at 52% owned.
I'm going to go out and play. Say that if there's ever a time to come off him, it's now. And you might be thinking why. Everton, when they want to be, very good defense.
It's not a great run now.
United, right? Chelsea have been playing really well. That United game is going to be difficult away from home. Yeah, I think they'll get chances. Yeah,
there'll be goals there.
But he is not performing like he did at the start of the year. No one expected him to do that, by the way. If you expected him to go get goal and assist every single game.
By game week 17, Damo, he could be a Liverpool asset.
Yeah, that's the thing too. He could be a Liverpool asset in game week 17 because it sounds very likely. He has a lot of links.
And Salah's gone. There's our right winger.
Salah could come back. Salah could come back to the bench.
Anyhow, I actually think if you got him, you just hold him and whatever. But I think if you're someone that wants to chase your rank, I think now or last week, if you're brave like me, was the time to get off him. I believe, and punt against the.
I mean, you're an offside dumb thing from Evan Nielsen plus a deflection off the post away from 2 returns.
The offside thing was just
that was
so you know it's hindsight, isn't it? Like if he walks away with 2 returns, you're never selling him. So it's just. You know, that's just allowing the weaker variants to go against him this week to create a bit of a narrative. So I think if you've got him, hold him. I could argue if you don't have him, you don't have to buy him, though. That's where I'll go with that one. I'm pretty happy with that. Declan Rice, I think I'm really coming around to Rice. I don't love it. But if it's at 7 million, I don't like it. I'd rather have Gakpo. Like, that's my gut feeling. At 6.5, I would have been a bit more okay with it. Not at 7 mil, though. I think he is a great asset, but you have to just play him every week and ride the waves like a Bruno. But he doesn't have the goal threat that Bruno does. Like, you're just relying on set piece assist threat. But I see why he's 24% owned, but I won't be going there. Thoughts?
I personally can't get on board with Declan Rice, personally.
You know, my
he does tick along. Like he does.
It's the same as Xhaka and Anderson and Lefeu, Di Lefeu, the Sunderland.
Rice is doing better.
Lefeu.
Yeah, and he's on penalties, by the way, the Sunderland lad, at 4.9 million. I can't get on board.
The last few weeks, he's gone 13, 2, 6, 4. That's the last 4 weeks. And then before that, 7, 3, 11, 9. Like, he is ticking along. Like, he's doing more than ticking along.
Look, I could get him in this week. There's a world that far. I don't like him. I do, but I don't like him for 7 mil. I think we've missed the chance. And, but the run wasn't even great. The run I'm talking, so he went 9, 11, 3, 7, 13, 2, 6, 4. And that run was Newcastle away, West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Burnley, Sunderland, Tottenham, Chelsea. So you can just do it in any game. That's why I like him, because you're forced to play him, though. Brentford at home and Wolves at home are 2 good fixtures as well coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just thought, I do think he's a good asset personally, but at 7, it's steep. At 6.5, I would have liked it. So Phil Foden, I mean, there's a reason why I went with him on the free hit, because I love him as a footballer. He massively overperformed the data. The goals were good this week.
His first goal,
the second goal was good.
Or was the second the volley?
No, it was the first goal was the volley. So yes, the first goal was good.
First goal.
The second goal where he gets on his left foot, by the way, is still a nice finish too.
Oh, but to win the game.
Yeah,
through bodies. Great footballer. The minutes look good as well. Yeah, the minutes looking great. So I wouldn't be against. At 8 million, I wouldn't be against Phil Foden. And you might get the odd benching.
He's 8.1 million. I'm priced out by 0.1.
Yeah, it hurts.
That hurts.
Yeah. Look, I really do rate him. If you're going a City asset like attacker on top of Haaland, it's Foden by a country mile at the moment.
Yeah,
And
100,000%.
that's not just because of the data like from last week. That is just he's ticking a lot of the boxes, and he's clearly playing for his spot in the World Cup side as well, I think. So pretty happy with that. Mateta, I don't think we need to talk too much about Mateta. He'll get his chances. He'll be fine. Doesn't you plug and play him every week, and that's that. He gets his penalty somehow retaken this week, and that hurt my rank quite a bit. So that's annoying, but we move on. I don't think we have to talk too much about Mateta. O'Reilly, some interesting conversation about him this week. So 8 Nuri off to AFCON as well. Wouldn't surprise me if he does play a little bit, like 8 Nuri comes in a little bit just to get sharp for the tournament.
Is he fit?
He played the Champions League game when they rotated everybody. So he's back in the squad. So maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks just be where there could be a benching for O'Reilly, but you'll get the stretch post this period here. So you'll get that game week 17 against West Ham at home, and you'll probably get the next 4 weeks after that minimum. So, if in the next 8 weeks you cop one benching, I think you just ride that with O'Reilly and you just cop it on the chin and go. So I think he's a great option personally. Eze, I want to get your guys' thoughts on Eze because Odegaard's on his way back.
Played 70 minutes on the weekend. That's all you need to know is because Odegaard coming back, those minutes have gone straight down. He's no longer a 90-minute man. He's going to get benched at some point for Odegaard. Yeah, I wouldn't be anywhere near him at the moment.
Dom is the Eze owner.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hold him until he gets dropped. I think I'm just going to do that because if I bench him or sell him and he goes and scores a hat-trick like against Brentford or Wolves in 2 weeks, I'll kick myself because, I've had him. So I've decided I'm just going to hold him, but I think Damo's right. It's inevitable. Odegaard's the club captain. Eze is a 10 times better footballer. Like I'm taking Eze in my team every single day of the week, but Odegaard's the captain of the club.
Yeah.
You can't have 2 10s. That's the issue.
Oh, exactly.
He might move out to the left, but they have a lot of left wingers
out there though.
He's
not the same asset out there, and even the Arsenal fans are saying that too. They want Eze in the 10. So it's do they? Because you can't even mix. You can't even put Odegaard in with Zubimendi and Rice because they're both playing so well in their roles too. Like it's a shit spot. You got 2 guys dogfighting it for that number 10 spot, really. So
great for Arsenal Football Club, not great for fantasy.
Yeah, 100%. Damo, Raul Jimenez.
Not now, but game week 16 when we get 5 free transfers, this could be your punt. Now, that's Burnley Forest. That's 2 really good game weeks. And if you like what you see, you hold him. And if you don't, you just ship him straight back off because you had 5 free transfers. You don't have to use all 5 and 16. But he's someone I'm looking at and you go, yeah, not this week because they got City. Maybe even bring him in 15 to punt against Palace. But I wouldn't personally.
I don't know who they've got after Forest.
Who? Someone hard, obviously.
West Ham away.
Oh, boys. Load it up.
Then it turns a little bit after that. It then goes Palace away, Liverpool home, Chelsea home, Leeds away, Brighton home, Man United.
But
he becomes your bench fodder though.
Yeah, I just think it's a 3-week game week punt and then like bench fodder or move him on after that because we'll have the transfers. I just think it's a really aggressive move, but not this week. It's a game week 16 move.
Yeah.
And Muniz, by the sounds of it, is out for a little bit of time. Not like lengthy, like months, but yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. Welcome, everyone that is in the chat as well. We've got a few people popping in. Also, get your questions in. Like, we've probably got 5 minutes of reviewing this, then getting to your questions as well, because time's getting away from us. Then Cunha's the last one there as well, who I just want to wait and see. Like we said before, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Cunha. So let's get into some team talk for this week. So I'll start with mine. And if you guys can load up your teams on your own computers and then share it with me, that would be good. Or share it with in the stream. And then I'll add you guys in separately. That's my side going into game week 14 tomorrow night. So I'm back to not one free transfer. So Damo and I are obviously speaking about what could I do with that one transfer. I have that dilemma of Tarkowski, Grealish, and Semenyo. If I was to get rid of one of these guys this week, it's Jack Grealish, and I just play the Tarkowski versus Semenyo and pray it's a a 2-1 Bournemouth win or a 1-0 Bournemouth and Tarkowski with 15 DC and, walks away with his 4-pointer and Semenyo walks away with his goal. And that is something I'm considering is when do I get off of Jack Grealish? Because the numbers are just not there for him. Like it's just Newcastle 0.41 XA actually isn't too bad. But other than that, it's been quite average. The Sunderland game, he was quite good in that game. But then again, it drops again. He's just not returning either. It's just 2s and 3s. And it's really annoying that they're just not playing through him. Dewsbury Hall's looking like a bit more of the facilitator, and Grealish just sits out on the wing now and isn't as involved as he was. And then enjoys. They're sort of working to that side. Then the overlap comes, and then the ball comes in. So Grealish is drawing the people in. Then it's a release ball. Then it's that ball cross. Where I was hoping from what we saw in game weeks 1, 2, and 3 was Grealish was the one delivering the ball in to the back stick to Njai and to Beto at the time, who was up front. So I've stuck fat with him since game week 4, and I've ridden it out, and I think now it's stubborn to not move him on. So if I'm making a move this week, and the reason I don't mind making the move this week is I'm going to punt the Gyökeres play 60 against Brentford. I think it's an easy way for them to start him, get 3-0 up, and then off you come, buddy boy. And if that means he gets 1 return this week, I'll take it. I'll live with it. But other than that, I'm happy with everyone else that's in my side. I'm happy with the double Arsenal defense. I'm happy with Verge. I will live with Tarkowski for a week. I could play Anderson, but that feels gross. It really does feel gross against Man City because they could concede 5. But Anderson could also get 25 DC. So if it was a cumulative, I'll probably play him, but it's not. The decision I have to make is Anderson versus Xhaka, and I'm purely playing Anderson for the potential of a penalty if everyone's off the pitch again, or he just slaps one in from 25 yards out because he's a good footballer. Doesn't mean that I don't think Xhaka is going to get DC, but I expect Liverpool at home to hopefully score, where Forest could go to Wolves and say, you guys can't score, break us down. And then we see Forest really hit them on the break because they're inviting the pressure from Wolves. So Anderson gets the start ahead of Xhaka, and I feel like the rest of the team picks themselves. So let me know in the chat, guys. Do I get rid of Grealish this week or next week? I don't think it matters what week I really make that move.
Next week. I'm doing next week. Just write it.
Yeah, I think next week as well. It's a good Grealish. If you don't do it this week, Paul, you're holding next week because it's Forest. I'll actually wait till Chelsea.
That's what you've got covered. I'm not holding till Burnley. There's no way I'm waiting.
No. You either get off now or you get off at Chelsea.
Well, 16 is when we get all the transfers, isn't it?
I'll probably just wait it, to be fair. So
then the question comes, do you get rid of Tarkowski? But he's actually ticking over quite nicely now. Like you look from game week 7, 5-3, 1-2, 5-8-3. And I mean, for him, it's mostly DC, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I just tried. And then next week, so what's next week? 15. So I can then make 2 transfers next week, clear them out, set my team up and get the 5 and then not have to make them. So I don't really know where else I'd make transfers though, if I'm honest. I'm kind of just I'm actually quite happy with the rest of my side, bar Grealish. So it's going to feel gross. I don't know what transfers I'd make next week, even with 2 transfers, because I'd want to play Tarkowski and Grealish against Forest.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird spot. So let me know in the comments what you guys would do. But that's my side. I'm not making any moves. So pretty basic.
I need help, and I need a lot of help.
All right. Let's quickly zip through Damos because I think he's similar to me with 1 transfer. So
yeah, I need to make a transfer. Obviously, Senesi's out, so I can't hold Sarr, and they did have Burnley. And yeah, I would have liked to obviously have Sarr available for this game week. If I quickly go to transfers, I got 1.5 in the bank. I really wanted to get Foden in, but I also wanted to look at other options. Now I'm priced out of Foden, which is not nice. So again, I don't know what midfielder to go to. I think I'm actually leaning Bruno G. As a bit of a differential for a couple of weeks. I think Spurs are a great fixture to target, and then Burnley's pretty good. And if I don't like it, as much as Sunderland away on paper is a good fixture, I actually think it's a really difficult game for them. So I could just take 2 weeks of a punt. If I don't like it, move him on. If I do like it, we just hold him because he's going to get DC in that Chelsea United game or whatever. And just he's 90 minutes, and we are at the Christmas period. 90-minute men are hard to come by. So yeah, like 90, 89, 90, 85, 90. Didn't play because I think he was injured or suspended. And then 90, 90, 90. So I think from a 90-minute man perspective over this festive period, it's great. And the risk is that he goes blank, and I'll get rid of him in game week 16 when we get 5 free transfers. That's kind of where I'm leaning.
See, I'm of the opinion of I really want to try and hold on to not all the transfers. I really don't want to spaff them early. Like, I've been in such struggle town for transfers for so long. I don't want to be banking 2s and 3s game week 16. Because then I'm just going to be in the roll territory again. Like, I want to try and just get to my team in 16 and make one. So, like, if I hold my team, I don't even know I have to figure out what I'm going to do, because, like, it could be that I reorder sort of my midfield, or I try and move one of these guys down and move Tarkovsky up or whatever before 15 even. But I want the 5 in there and I want to go from there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now, Dom, do you have...
I can share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen, and then we'll do a few questions and we'll get out of here.
While I'm doing
thank
that,
you to all of those that are
Nerf Ninja in there, who is Nerf Ninja in the chat, who is Damo C, friend of the pod. Paul, I'll let you touch on what he's been doing in the FPS
all right,
space.
Whilst Dom sorts his team out, let's get our Chasing Rank League up, because there is a change at the top.
There is.
And I'm not sharing my screen. The 4th pseudo member of Chasing Rank, because Damo's made an appearance with us.
Yep.
Played his free hit, and where he got me was Virgil in his defense. He got the extra clean sheet in the defense, which was the main difference. He didn't go Salah, but he had Saka on his bench, which he would have been filthy about. But we had very, very similar teams, Damo, but he is sitting at 10K rank at the moment. So
incredible.
Big props to Damo. We'll have to get him on.
Damo C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Damo C. We have to get him on again. Maybe once he cracks 4 digits, we'll get Damo on to let us know what he's doing.
Could be next week. That could be
next week. So if Damo's free, we'll get him back on, because he does give us great insight as well. So we will get Damo involved, and he is in and amongst it with us. So well done, Damo. Keep chipping away there, mate. And we are proud of you. Look at us. 3 of us inside the top 100K going into Christmas is fantastic. So we are doing something right, I think. Yep. We're just going to get Dom involved.
Go.
Yeah, come on, Dom. Catch us up.
Almost there.
Let's go. Talk us through it.
Okay.
We'll get a few questions.
A lot of red. Way too much red for my liking. 2 transfers. Where do you go? Where do you go with this? I'm thinking of a 3-4-3. Nick Pope, injury flag.
I'd keep Nick Pope.
I'd play
Dubravka.
Okay.
Not worth the transfer when you only got 2.
I don't like transferring keepers. Keepers should be set and forget.
He'll come straight back in. It's not going to be out for a long term. I'd
actually play Dubravka this week, personally, with no Saar at home. Is what I would do personally.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Saar and Gabriel have to go, because you're getting Senesi back next week.
Yes, true. Senesi is a 1 week. So to Saar and Gabriel, who do you move them to? I'm good on the budget side of things. I can do a bigger one and a 4.2, something like that. Or where do you go? Where do you go though? I've already got my triple.
I got a couple rogue ones off the bat.
I'm gonna click them out.
Yeah, because this brings you back to 2 Palace, Palace assets. You could double up on the Palace defense against Burnley, which I don't.
I don't like doing that. Don't like doing that away from home.
The issue with Munoz now is you're actually not saving a whole lot of money either.
Nah, if you actually look at LaRox, who I was going to recommend, has been great for DC over this period. I think he's now
5-3,
I think since I've brought him in, he's gone very close, or if not outscored Munoz in that period.
Is Tark a play ball?
No. As the Tark owner, I wouldn't go there.
Not now is where I would go. The other couple areas I would look at as well is probably 4 from Newcastle, because you only got 2 options from Newcastle. I like doubling up on defenses. If you think a defense is going to keep a
Doubling
clean
up
sheet,
on good defenses.
yeah, like that's the reason I went for double Liverpool defense. It sounds a bit weird, but it paid off this week.
I'm saying your other
And
options,
this is-
Virgil, Canate.
Yeah, and look, the best play for Arsenal has been over this period Raya, Timber, and Gabriel, right, until the injury. So I think 4 is a really good pick. I think doubling up on the Palace defense, because I think they're okay, is not the worst. With this fixture coming up, you can also get 5 free transfers, so you can take them out. But yeah, I think those are a couple options straight off the bat there.
How is Timber more expensive than Gabriel? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's nuts. It's because everyone went from Gabriel to Timber. It shouldn't be the way. In terms of midfield options, you're very similar to me, Dom, where you need some sort of budget midfielder. I actually think that you got a couple of options. You could either free up a lot of funds and get a real enabler there, and there's a lot of good enablers.
What do you think of the Pedro Neto play?
I don't hate it, but if you look at Enzo,
Palmer's back, so that
but you look at Enzo. If you look at Enzo's data, it's way better. And again, if you look at Enzo's data playing deep, it's still really good. So I'd probably just go Enzo over Neto. But you're the resident Chelsea fan, so you make a pick on that. I think there's value going elsewhere. I actually think your best play here, Dom, which might sound a little crazy, is probably to really downgrade that defender spot and then maybe try and get towards maybe a Gakpo, for instance, in that spot for Saar, if you can.
What about a Gakpo or a Foden?
Yeah, I don't know if that's where I'd be looking. I'd be going there. Foden? Yeah.
Because you've got 13 in the bank.
If you put Foden in, what does that leave you with?
Yeah, what does it leave you with?
4.9. You can get a good defender for 4.9. You go to any of the 4.5s have a really good fixture. You actually can afford Mickey
Malik
Fior as well.
Malik Fior.
And then bang, now you're sorted at 0.0, and there you go.
Like, I wouldn't. Oh, you got to make the moves tonight, don't you, Jesus?
Chat. Do I do it? Let me see what the chat's saying.
When I look at the options, can I just pull you off the screen for a sec, Dom, and I'll bring this up. I'm looking at just the 4.9 options, and then after this, we'll get into the comments for you guys. These are the 4.9 defenders by price. So Keane not going there, Cash not going there, Richards you own, Van de Ven not going there, Mukiel. You don't want to go there with that run. Anderson, you don't really want to go there.
No, not City.
It's gross. Oh, yeah. But if you need them for this week, then definitely not. Ballard, no. Digne, no. Rodon, no. Van Hecker has been going under the radar. I'll give him that. But it's not a sexy pick at all. True Fair, no. Then it's Dior. So, to be honest, he stands out at 4.9 amongst everyone. So, I think he is an option. When you look at his ticking along, now, can I get his DC here? So, 6 was this week, but 10, 15, 7, but then in the minutes have picked up.
I saw someone make a comment. He's hit DC 8 times, I think, this season.
Where? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
4, okay.
I think 4 is okay. It's fine. You could go to a slightly cheaper option as well. Anderson, you could just play.
Anderson's the best of the 4-5s.
Yeah, but he just has Man City this week, which makes it tough to play him this week. That's all. Because I like him for the future.
The run after's good.
Yeah, the run after's great. That's where I'm looking to move Senesi to if I decide to move Senesi as well this week, which I don't think I will, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm set on Foden. I like Foden. Like the Foden play. With their run being Fulham, Sunderland home, Crystal Palace away.
He's good for 90. And to be fair, as much as I am looking at all my other options, I actually think I'm making 2 moves myself as well. I'm going Senesi down so I can get Foden in.
That would be nice. All right, let's go through the questions because I think we've got some that are hanging from the back here. So I feel like we're good there. Damo, talk us through the one on the screen there whilst I find more.
Would you keep Mateta for Fulham or sell him to Thiago if fit? I'm definitely keeping Mateta. The guy looks good. He gets a lot of chances, passes the eye test. This Palace side do create a lot of chances. He's on pens. I wouldn't move to Thiago personally for Mateta. I would actually rather, once Thiago's fit, probably free up a midfield spot, downgrade to one of these great enablers we have, and then go and get that third striker spot to Thiago.
All right. Dom, talk us through differential captains this week. You are the resident Voltamata owner.
Nah, I was thinking before, he's been banging his goals. I don't know how many he's scored, but he'll get like his one contribution and that's it. I'll get a goal, that's it, or get an assist, that's it. I want to see him getting 2 goals or a goal and assist, goal, assist, 3 bonus. Like, I want to see double digits. And it's fair enough. Like, Biden, he's going to score most weeks and get his 6, 7, 8 points, but I want to see him before I'm thinking of captaining him. Yeah. I want to see like multiple. I want to see a double goal,
multiple returns.
Yeah.
All right, Mez currently captaining Munoz away to Burnley. Damo, talk us through it.
Don't hate it. The only problem with captaining defenders, as we've seen with Gabriel owners that have done it, is as soon as they concede, it makes it very hard for them to get a big haul. And saying that, there's ever a defender to go after it, someone as aggressive as Munoz. So I don't particularly hate it as a differential. I just think you should be picking who you think is going to be your highest game week scorer for the week. And I still think that's probably going to be Haaland or, someone like a Saka or an Mbeumo or a Fernandez.
Yeah, I think we want to go more on the attack side. Go for it.
We haven't talked about him enough. And one of our massive fans, Jackie, triple captained him.
He's injured.
And Thiago, the Brentford striker.
He's injured.
Injured.
Yeah, injured.
Yeah.
He's out.
I missed that.
That's why the question was, I said no, because we don't know.
Anyway,
that's why I'm not talking about him. He's injured. That's why it wasn't
Jackie,
on
that triple captain Jackie. Incredible. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, good that he's injured. That makes us feel better about trading.
I got one more thing to show you before we get off because I've got to make this decision tonight.
Go.
If I get Grealish out this week, so if I get aggressive and go, I'll just play because I don't want Grealish in my team long term, and I don't particularly want to use one of my 5 transfers when I get them on getting rid of him. If that makes sense. So it's like I'll wear the not having him for Forest if it means I don't have to deal with the situation when I've got the 5 transfers. I'd rather make 1 transfer this week, 1 transfer next week, and go into 16 with 5 and have to make 1 to get my 5 back going into 17. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like just use 1 transfer a week now until that point. So at 6.9 mil, my options are Szoboszlai, who I don't love because I don't know what role he's going to play at 10. If I knew he was going to play in the 10 every week, I'd consider it, but I don't love him at right back for attacking potential. Enzo, I'm scared of the role. Same thing. No Caicedo, straight red card. Palmer coming back. I don't really want to go there. Anderson somehow is the 3rd option at 6.9, which is crazy to me, which is fine because I'm happy to hold him. Then it's Bruno G. I would not go near Vifa. Barnes, I don't really like because Gordon's just snooping around.
Up and down.
Langa's there. There's a few issues there.
Yeah, I've seen a couple from Cortex about Barnes, a couple of questions or comments.
I don't love it.
At some point, he's going to get benched. So he only plays 60 or 70 if he does start. I would rather 90-minute men. Then they're not going to keep Gordon out the team for him. So, yeah.
Yeah. And we're talking about wanting 90-minute men in our sides at this point of the year. And Doku is not that. So I love Doku as a footballer, but he's not a 90-minute man. I'm tossing up here between Bruno G and Minte. These are 2 players who I could set and forget in my team for a very, very long time. That is the question for this week. Do I make the move for Bruno G or Minte? Yes or no?
Who they got? Bournemouth.
Who?
Away, no Senesi. I think for Bruno G, who's got Spurs and then Burnley.
And then Sunderland.
And then Sunderland.
Burnley, Sunderland.
I think it's good. Like, I'm currently tossing up if I go Foden or go to Bruno G myself because I just don't like the Fulham fixture.
That's the Bruno G fixtures.
Yeah, it's good. And he's 90 minutes and it's exactly what you want. That's why I might, even of those more expensive options that you may want to get to, Paul, if you made a couple multiple moves, which you can't do, are they 90-minute men? He's 90 minutes. And I think that's really important right now.
And then for comparison's sake, that's Minte. So Villa, West Ham, both at home are good. 16th, not great against Liverpool away, Sunderland home, Arsenal away, then West Ham, Burnley. He has only scored 1 goal this year, which is kind of
but
crazy.
so many assists, and he looks so good going forward.
So they both have. Well, Minte has 8 contributions, Bruno has 7, and Bruno's got DC.
Yeah, it's very close. I like Bruno, and I've been screaming about him for 2 days. Now that I sit here, if I make 2 moves, I should go to Foden. But do I really want to bring Foden in before they play to Fulham away? Because Fulham don't concede too much at Craven Cottage.
As you mentioned that, Mez goes, Fulham haven't conceded much at home. That's crazy that they've only conceded 3 goals at home.
Yeah, they're nuts. They're unreal at home. This is why I really want to get Anderson in for Senesi. But do I really get Anderson in for Senesi and then don't use that funds to get to Foden for my team? So do I just keep Senesi, only use 1 transfer and just get Bruno? I don't, as in Bruno G. I'm not sure. I think Bruno G's a pick. Now, you guys can back me up. I've been screaming this for 2 days in the chat.
Attack, DC,
attack.
DC.
You just keep him and hold him. I think he's great value.
I would rather him over Jack Grealish. Like, my gut's telling me better routes to points, more involved. Jack Grealish sits on that stupid left wing all the time. I would be happy to play Bruno. If I plug Bruno into that midfield, if I've got Semenyo, Bruno, and Mbeumo for the next few weeks, I deal with Mbeumo when AFCON comes around, and I go back to my 3-4-3 formation every week, and I'm playing 1 or 4-3-3 most weeks when Anderson and Senesi amongst that. I'm happy with that, I think. So that could be what I go, I think. I think Grealish goes to Bruno G for me this week. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, look, I've got already preloaded on my screen 1 move, which is Sarr to Bruno and 1.3 mil in the bank. All
right. Well, with no other questions coming through and an hour and 12 minutes on the clock, we have gone overtime a little bit.
I've got a question before we go.
Before Damo gets his question in, let's make sure we hit that like button and we do subscribe to the channel as well. Damo, fire the question away.
Who are you captaining this game week?
No idea. I'll decide before I go to sleep because I have no idea.
Robot's angry, and I like when Robot's angry.
Fulham, though, don't concede many.
Haaland would be filthy that he didn't get amongst it against Leeds.
Filthy. He only backs up a blank with a
filthy
mental performance. Yeah,
Fulham are good at home. I get that, but when I find my team, the teams they've played at home this year: United, Leeds, Brentford, Arsenal. They lost. Wolves, Sunderland. It's not upper echelon.
What about, talk to me, is Semenyo a captaincy play?
Could be.
Everton got slapped around.
I think
slapped around.
Everton's defense away have sucked.
I think I'm going Semenyo.
I actually currently have the armband on Mbeumo, but I'm tempted to switch it to Saka.
Take it off. Take it off, Damo. He's been average past couple of weeks.
Just West Ham looked poor.
Yeah, West Ham are garbage, though.
West Ham looked poor. When I mean poor, and he's gone blank in Mbeumo. I think he's about to pop because I think there's weeks where we look to target away from Haaland. And I get the narrative that he just blanked, but this is one of the game weeks I had earmarked that I was going against Haaland, and it was for Saka. I just don't know if Saka's really in that moment. Maybe it is Saka against Brentford. I've already done it twice, and he's been getting DC, but I really think West Ham have been that poor, and Mbeumo might be the play.
Fair.
Damo?
Look, he's in my team now because I actually just did that move, literally as we were talking about this.
I'm about to do it once we get off as well.
Because I want to do it so I can go to bed because I'm up early tomorrow. But Spurs look really bad and he has capable for DC. So there's a world where he goes against an attacking return DC in 90 and they keep a clean sheet. So what? That's like 9, 10, 11 points easy before we even look at bonus. It could be a good move. I still think you probably want someone that has the capability of going getting that big ceiling of like 3 goals, 2 goals in a game, 20 points. Big. If you're going to go differential, I think you want that more of that flairier pick than Bruno. But there's a lot of routes to points there, Jackie.
Yeah. And on that note, I think that's what we're going to call it. Thank you guys once again for another great live stream. We will be back next Tuesday to review the double game week. It feels crazy to say we're at double game week time of
Best
the
time of year.
It
Best
is
time of
great.
year. Just games.
Football for fun. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.